Friday. No, happy Thursday. Goodness me. I don't know what day of the week it is. My name is Sandra Waldrop, and you are watching Kingdom Acres. This is my segment on craft round the clock. So yeah, I have a house full of children. My husband and son are gone for work. My daughter's fixing to leave for work, but I still have 2 other kids and dogs that are angry about life. So if you hear any crash bang booms or bark 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 or whine whine whine, that is why. Good morning, Miss Tracy. So it is never a quiet show around here. We've always got lots going on. Lots of noises and craziness and shenanigans going on in the background. Sometimes there's a little 9-year-old over here asking me questions and watching, and Mom, why can't I be in your live? And then other times it's dogs. It's just wildness happening all the time. You never know what's going to happen. So welcome to my little crazy crafting world over here in the Gulf Coast of Texas. So today I have a super duper fun craft that kind of is on the outskirts of my realm of crafting, but I'm kind of obsessed. Truthfully, I'm kind of obsessed. So backtracking just a little bit, we just had our first couple weeks of co-op start back up. We started back up on the 12th. And so for those of you who don't know, good morning, Miss Diane. For those of you who don't know, I am a homeschool mom. I've been homeschooling for about a decade now. And I've already graduated 2 of my homeschoolers, and I've got 2 left, and I've been the director of our homeschool co-op for, oh gosh, I don't know, 5-ish years or 5-6 years. So, as part of this year, I wanted to start things with like a really fresh look and excitement and all these things. Year before last was just like a crazy year for us. We had so much drama, and it was just so much. And so last year, like, we didn't allow any new members in. We were just like really careful, and we had a really, really small group, and that was good. It was a good time to just kind of refresh. Oh, thanks, Diane. And so it was a great time to refresh, but we decided this year was the time to kind of blow it back up again. So, we decorated our doors and made this really beautiful photo prop area backdrop for first day pictures, and our tutors decorated pants to wear with our t-shirts that we ordered t-shirts from one of the local ladies who does the t-shirts. But so I had put in our little group that I wanted to do pants, and then my friend who is amazingly talented and can paint literally anything, she's like, okay, and then she just painted her pants, and I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot do that. I can't actually, I'm I came up with this idea, but I didn't have any, I don't know, I didn't have any follow through in my brain with it. I didn't know what I was going to be doing to make it happen. And so, plus I was still sick, and I ended up cheating a little bit, because instead of actually painting all kinds of cute little clip art type images on my pants, I used these transfer sheets that you can get on Amazon. They're $12 for I think it's 12 sheets, and you can put several images on one, because it's the full, you know, of what goes in your printer. Good morning, Miss Mary. And so, good morning, Miss Lori. So, oh, lavender and lace with Lori, first time watching. Oh, thank you so much. Welcome. I appreciate you being here. Good morning, Miss Mary. I loved your video this morning. That is such a sweet story about adoption and love and compassion. Oh gosh, it just moved me so much. Good morning, Miss Irma. So I decided to cheat a little bit to help me in my lack of skill. My lack of being able to actually handle a paintbrush appropriately. Aw, thanks, Miss Mary. And Babs, good morning. So I got on Etsy and I got on Google Images and I just like printed some stuff out, cut it out with some scissors, and then I just kind of embellished with some acrylic paint with some dots. So this is what happened. This is what it turned out to be. I started out, and this is when I realized I wasn't as handy as I thought I was going to be. I wanted to draw the magic school bus, and so I had like my water fabric thing. Good morning, Miss Jeannie. And it just was looking maybe like the Wish version of what I was wanting. It was kind of like, oh, I don't know, just like I wasn't doing a good job with it. And so I quickly realized that wasn't going to work. And I pulled out my transfer sheets that I had bought for some random idea that didn't work out before. And I started putting these on and I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. I did magic school bus, and then I was able to just kind of go around it, and some of this blue will come off because it's from the marker that I had used. I just kind of wet it down, and now it looks like kind of universe a little bit, but I added, you know, some acrylic and stuff to give it that flair also. Good morning, Miss Kelly. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks, Jessica. Yeah, so I did Magic School Bus. This is like our co-op is BCCHE, and I did kind of a composition notebook theme this year. So I did that, and then I just put a few like regular patches on there on that side. And then on this side, I got these images off of Etsy, and look at that. Little apple with a bow and a pencil with a bow. And you can make them as big or as small as you want to on your document for you to print. So I haven't washed these pants since I wore them, so they're a little, but look at that. You leaving? Oh, okay, I love you. My daughter's leaving for work. Have a good day. So anyways, this says Home Sweet Homeschool. Isn't that adorable? Isn't that so cute? I love it. So, and then I just took my little round brushes from like Dollar Tree, you know, just like the little blot foam brushes. And I put them in acrylic paint and gave it some polka dots, and so festive. I love them so much. And now I'm like, I need more pants. I need more fun pants in my life. So these are my school theme pants. And I am going to do some more pants today with y'all. I've just got, I don't ever pull out, thank you, Diane. Good morning, Miss Brenda. I don't ever pull out my ironing board. I don't. I have like the tiniest little ironing board, and it's very like complicated to unfold and stuff. And I don't have room really to own like a full size one. Plus I don't iron enough to justify having it in my house. Thank you, Jeannie. Thanks, Elizabeth and Mary. So So I just kind of like lay out a towel wherever I'm at. These pants that I did for co-op, I just put on a TV tray with a towel. Good morning, Miss Jackie. Thanks, Lori. Yeah, I just thought they were so cute. And the kids, like, it really like brought up like just the excitement level and, you know, the feeling of like camaraderie with the tutors and everything. It was just so much fun. So I've got these pants. These ones, I really should just donate them because they are on the bigger side for me, but I love them so much and I don't want to stop wearing them. So I'm just going to wear them and let them be my like baggy, maybe my bloated day pants where I get to feel like cute and unique, you know, just have my little unique pants going, my fancy pants. My fancy pants, okay? Not my grumpy pants, okay? I wore those yesterday. I was so tired and grumpy yesterday. My poor kids in kids' church, I was like not having it. I was not having all of the malarkey. You know, just the shenanigans. So yeah, thanks, Kelly. All right, so I'm going to start with the bottom of the leg and then build up. I got on Etsy and I printed out some images already. Where's my other page? I have it. I found this one like file on Etsy that's less than $1 before tax. And it had over almost 500 like clip art images, all of things that I absolutely love and adore. Look at that. Look at all those. So I need to cut these out. When it comes to things like this, where a Cricut would usually cut inside there, I don't care. I really don't. I cannot justify buying a Cricut because I don't feel like, good morning, Miss Natalie. I just don't feel like I would use a Cricut enough, and I know how to use scissors, so I just, oh, thanks, Natalie. Good morning, Miss Brenda. So yeah. I don't know. I just love all these cute little things. The teapot, the basket of herbs, like the shelf with all the canned foods. This is me. This is like who I am. I already cut out one that's like a little garden bed. Look at that. Isn't that so cute? And then there was another one that I had gotten that was kind of like homesteady that I was using for like putting out what dates I'm going to be on. So we can try it out. Yes, that's a great idea. Thanks, Diane. Yeah, we should. We should just give it a go. I don't know, but girl, I still haven't even bought all my like curriculum for these kids. Having each book is between, I don't know, $30 to $50 to $80. Like, you just, when it was for kids, it was real fun. Yes, I will share the link for those after the live. I'll hop back on in the comments and I'll put the Etsy links for both of these because they're just so cute. Look at this one. It's got the horses. This one has a mooey. Look at that. Our mooey looks very similar. She's black and she's got like white on her face. This one has quite a bit more on her face, but I'm getting kind of where I can kind of tell what breed these cows are. So I'm like, I think this cow has some Santa Gertrudis in her. So it makes me feel like I know things. And look at this one, a little mason jar full of flowers. Isn't that adorable? And I just cut it out the best I can. I'm getting old, so my thumb likes to give me trouble with cutting sometimes, but plus I need to invest in more scissors. These are literally all I use for everything. Don't tell Mom that I use my fabric scissors for everything now, and these are just my crafting scissors, and I use my crafting scissors on fabric. I don't hardly ever pull out my sewing machine, so I don't know. Don't tell don't tell anyone, okay? It'll be our little secret. It'll be our little secret. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull out some fabric. If you have like a tea towel or something, let me just cut this little edge off. And I'm just using this to go over the image so that my iron doesn't stick to it. These transfers have like a backing on them that you peel off and then you place your image. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna start out with, let's see, let me just place them here and see what I'm wanting to do. Kind of just like, I don't know, I like the horse right here. All right, we're gonna start with my horsey, which looks very similar to our old granny horse, Miss Princess out there. Funny story about that horse. When we went to look at her, we bought her from somebody in Seguin, Texas, okay? So it was quite a drive to go and see her. And we got her, or we went to go look at her. We got there and they were calling the horse Lily. That's her name. Well, the kid we were buying this horse for is named Lily. Good morning, Miss Cindy. Good morning, Miss Karen. So we were like, I told the horse, I was like, we're going to have to call you something different or this is going to be confusing for our household. And so I started coming up with different variations of Lily, or like putting stuff in front of it, just like all this, you know, just different ways that we could differentiate who it was we were in fact calling for, the horse or the kid. And all of a sudden I said, Princess Lily. And she turned and like looked at me and her ears went up. I was like, oh, we've got a princess on our hands. Oh, really? No, Lori, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know. It's like right here in this joint. I don't know. I'm 40 now, so I just attribute it to like my body doing what it does. I don't know. I have an issue with my connective tissues. So I always kind of assume that I'm going to have joint pain. And also I've been eating gluten here recently and that never fares well in my body. So I don't know. I don't know if it's just general inflammation or if my thumbs are really having like a medical issue. I don't know. But I just kind of like let them rest. And then, so I cut some out last night and I cut one out this morning while I was just hanging out. And yeah. So I have the image up on this and the sticky side down, not really sticky, it doesn't, but the other side down where I peeled off that transfer back. Good morning, Miss Kimberly. Good morning, Miss Sharon. So anyways, yeah, my thumbs are gonna have to just deal with it. It can take a little bit to iron on these transfers sometimes, especially when you have like little bits and edges. You want to really put pressure on this until you can see the grain of the fabric through the image. So I'm going to stand up so I can really like get on this with my weight. Thank you. Thank you for the sprinkles. Yeah, because you really want those little bits down, because when you wash these, they'll lift. And so my first wash, I usually just do like a gentle wash. And then I look at it before I put it in the dryer, because I don't want to put any heat on it and get those like all curled up and have transfer come off in my dryer or something. And so I did a pair of pants for my 9-year-old, because she was like, I want pants and I want my name on it and I want this and I want butterflies and I want all kinds of cute things. And so I did her pants. I put like strawberry shortcake and all kinds of cute little images on it. Good morning, Kelby. And so I had done that, and I realized that there was like a stain, and I was like, oh no, there's a stain on these pants. I don't want to like put all these transfers on here if we're just going to have to get rid of these pants. So I was like, well, let's try washing them again. So we washed them, and I was like, okay, well, this transfer, you know, is having just like some corners come up and stuff. So I went ahead and did that one, and got them all fixed up. But yeah, that stain didn't come out, so I did not proceed. Okay, I'm going to try to show you how this is going to, how you want it to look. I don't know if you guys can really see the grain of the denim there, but you really want to be able to see the lines of the pants coming through. And then I just kind of scratch at the little bits and edges to make sure nothing is coming up with my nail, because if it is, I want to go ahead and apply more heat and pressure. And I just go around the whole thing to see if I can feel anything. Okay, I don't feel anything. Once I'm done, I usually go back over everything. So, all right, so there's that. Okay, now I want to show you, because I won't have time to do like the whole thing, because it can be quite time consuming doing all of this. But okay, so let's say this one isn't even fully cut out, but let's say I have all of these placed, right? Then I can go back through and use all kinds of cute buttons and sew on some buttons, right? And just, I want to have some fun pants for the fall, right? That have to do with things for that, like, that I love. So like gardening, horses, you know, canning, all those things, herbal stuff, herbal teas and things. Like, these are all things that are like so me. Anybody who knows me knows that I just like, even down to like the little like bakery thing, that's me. I love to like bake bread, says the person who should not eat gluten. I love it. I love it so much. So, but the buttons, you can do like ribbon embroidery. I want to do that. So maybe I'll do something on Saturday. If I get a little bit of time in the morning, I may jump back on and do a little mini live, and do some more little embellishments on my pants and finish them up with y'all, because I really want these pants to be something cool and fun. And yes, the scratch test. Thanks, Kimberly. Yeah. So anyways, buttons galore. I found this little pack of buttons at Walmart for like $6-7, and it had all sorts of buttons in there that I just love. Oh, maybe I should get closer so y'all can actually see. And I'll be putting those on. But I also found, where is it? I also found, while I was button shopping, okay, backtracking a little bit. I found these dress up buttons, okay? And it has like the little vintage spools and things in it. And it had like a little fake sewing needle, little cute buttons just with like the dill on the back to be sewn on. And so what I did, because I had done these little vintage spools for the Cinderella table for my daughter, it came with like the thimble and the scissors. Look at those, aren't they adorable? And then the little dress form and the measuring tape. So I had to go ahead and hot glue those on because I was like, these are perfect for our Cinderella table. So I've just been keeping these back here while I continue to craft things for my daughter's Cinderella tables. This kid. I said I was not doing any tables for our ladies' banquet for our church. And she's like, well, I'm going to do 2. She's 14. Okay. This is a 14-year-old child saying she's doing tables for 20 people at a formal event. So guess who's doing tables? Guess what that means? It means I'm in fact doing tables that I just don't get to enjoy. No, I do. I do enjoy doing all of that, but it's going to be more a labor of love than, maybe I should I'm going to do the garden first. It'll be more of a labor of love than something that I like get to sit at her table and enjoy her. So I told my friend, I was like, are you doing a table? Cause, I'm not going to have anywhere to sit. Which I really don't care if I have a place to sit. I really just love seeing other people come in who don't usually like feel important or loved on or like they belong, to come in and they're dressed beautifully and they look out at everything and it's just, oh, thanks, Natalie. And they look at everything and they're like, wow, this is for me, you know? And it's really, it's an illustration of the wedding, you know, the wedding between the church and God, and, you know, we're awaiting our bridegroom, right? So it's just, it's an outreach situation is what it is, but it's also to kind of honor the women in our church as well and just have a time of fellowship and just, you know, good morning, Miss Cynthia, and all those good things, you know, just all those good things. So, all right. I just want to make sure whenever I have little bits, like little tiny pieces that are kind of long, I want to make sure that they're laying down before I apply any heat, because I do not want them like folding back on itself and then making a mess, ruining my image. I did have that happen and I noticed in time that I was able to like flip it back over, but it left a crease. So I really don't want that happening. So I have some amazing news. I have nowhere to be today until like 6 o'clock this evening. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited because I can just like clean my house and take a nap. I think I'm going to take a nap today. So excited. So excited. I have been going nonstop. I've been missing y'all and watching the lives for y'all. Like yesterday, I really like was intentional about being on Craft Around the Clock and trying to support my sweet crafting sisters whenever I could. So I would like have it on as I was like driving down the road, you know, or you know, just like whenever I could. If I was between meetings or anything like that, I would have it on. My girls and I went, because we were at the church at like 11 o'clock. And it's a 25-minute drive from our house to the church. Depending on how fast I drive. I can get there in 20 minutes, but it should take me 25, okay? I can shave 5 minutes off if I really need to. But we got there at 11 o'clock, and church starts at 7. I start collecting kids at 6:30. I had a meeting for like 4-H and our National Honor Society thing that we're doing for our co-op. And then, you know, just some more housekeeping stuff there. And my kids were doing their schoolwork with their friends. And so we just kind of waited for them to finish up their schoolwork for the day. Well, by the time they were done, it was like 4 o'clock. I'm like, why am I going to run home and be home for an hour and then have to turn around and come right back? So we just went to like the little taco truck across the street from the church. And you're going to schedule? Yeah. Vacation. Where are y'all going, Miss Lori? That sounds exciting. Oh, vacation. Vacation sounds amazing. Anyways, we just went and got tacos, and while we were sitting there eating our tacos, we actually went and got the tacos from the taco truck, and then we ran down to Sonic for our drinks because I like to get water with strawberry and lemon in it. And we sat in like one of their shaded parking spots and ate our tacos or burritos and drank our drinks. And I just sat there and watched some creators while we ate because I just haven't had time. You were a 4-H kid. Oh my goodness. Yes. So I'm finding that a lot of people, like 4-H has been around forever. I always wanted to do things like that when I was a kid, but we lived so far out in the county, and I was like, we were extremely poor. Like when we first moved to the property, we lived, you know, those camper shells that go on top of the back of a truck, a pickup? We lived underneath one of those on the ground. And my mom would like stay up with a flashlight and a hammer because it was the desert. So there's scorpions that like come out of the dirt, come out of the sand. And she would just like flashlight and hammer and like, you know, kill the scorpions as they were popping up to like bite us while we slept. So I come from very humble beginnings. And so although I really wanted to do stuff like that, like there was just no way that we had like the gas money to run back and forth for those kinds of things. And so I feel so extremely blessed that the Lord has provided us a lifestyle where we can actually provide these opportunities for my kids. You went on 2 out of the country. Wow. That's amazing. Oh, your kids were in 4-H and animals. Yes, animals and projects. So, my oldest, not my oldest, well, I have 2 adult children, so not including them. Of the 2 younger ones, the older one, my 14-year-old, she does cows. And we have horses, but she's not really doing anything with the horses right now. Neither one of them are. And so she's showing cows. She did the scramble last October. She's going to do the scramble again. So we're going to have to get another cow. My husband is going to like, and then, and they do ag mechanics. So they build stuff and then it goes to auction, at the fair. And, as far as like 4-H county and district, my girls do food challenge. My younger one does Duds to Dazzle, which is basically like a crafting team. And then, they do fashion storyboard, which that's really interesting because it's all done digitally now. So they have to create their storyboard on Canva. And then they do, what else do they do? Oh gosh. So much stuff. So much stuff. What else? What else? I can't, oh, that science, ag ID, goodness gracious, it's early, y'all. Ag ID, wildlife ID, all that stuff they do. And then if there's like any volunteer opportunities, they are jumping in with both feet. We did the 4-H camp back in July, and that was so much fun. Like so much fun. Yes, they're in 4-H. Your house on wheels. Oh gosh, I used to love having a camper for like camping and things like that. But we've only actually used a camper for camping a few times. We've lived in a camper a couple of times. The first time when we moved from Odessa area to like Houston area because we were having trouble finding a house. And so we decided to just like homeschool and follow my husband around for work. And then we finally settled in Angleton for a while. And my kids went to public school over there for a couple years and everything while we got settled. And then I pulled them back out to homeschool, and then Hurricane Harvey hit in 2017, flooded our house. And so back into an RV we went. Yes, have so much fun on your vacation. I hope you have a blast. Yeah, that's nice to have a camper to go and do fun things. We usually go tent camping. That's our thing. We go tent camping. We went to Garner State Park in June. And we went the first week of June, and we were supposed to stay for like 9 days, but my daughter ended up making it to state for 4-H competition. So we had to cut our trip short and go straight from Garner State Park to College Station to Texas A&M for her and her partner to do their educational presentation over there. And so we were there with like our trailer, all with our camping gear and everything, sunburnt and just half dead from sleeping in a tent. But my husband is so bougie. He actually went and got an air conditioner for our tent. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, when I camped as a kid, again, we were poor, but we would still do things on occasion. We would go to the lake, and we camped a few times. And in the desert, if you don't take sunblock, you will come back with like scabs on your lips. And I did, because again, we were poor, so we didn't take things like sunblock. That was a luxury, right? Oh goodness. My childhood, crazy. But you know, you live and you learn, and I don't have any regrets for my childhood. Despite everything, the Lord has used it all for my good, because I love him and he loves me. So look at these. Look at how they're turning out. Okay, I'm going to turn these around so you guys can see. Isn't that cute? Got horsey. I've got garden. Okay. I want to put, I've got 8 minutes. I can probably put a button on. What do you think? My flower button? Or should I just do, well, here's another flower button. Or I can do a regular button. This little button right here actually came in like the little pack for my Cinderella stuff, but it doesn't match my Cinderella theme, so I just like took it out and put it with my other buttons. This would be cute too, like maybe over here by my garden. I don't know. I'm really liking this one though. So I'm gonna start with that one, and I'm just gonna kind of place it awkwardly somewhere, like me, just awkwardly placed in life. It's fine. Everything's fine. Nobody panic. Okay. I've got my one sewing needle. I really need to go to Hobby Lobby and get some more sewing supplies. I'm a hand sewer. I have taken my girls' pants, their little bootcut jeans, and I cut them up the side on the outside to the knee, and I add pretty fabric. And I usually do that all by hand. And I used to do it on the way to like competitions and things, because they would want, like, you know, you go out to dinner, you go, you have like different events and things going on. If you make All-Star on drill, then you have a fancy banquet and stuff. And so my girls were always like, make me pants, make me pants. I'm like, okay, well, give me, which pants do you want me to make fancy? I'm just a fancy pants person. Hi, Miss Lisa. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. All right. So I'm just making me a good size knot, and I just twist and twist and twist into the one circle, and then I pull. I don't know how other people make their knots, but this is just the way I found works best for me until I get like a good size knot. And if it kind of loops up and stuff, it's not a big deal. Not a big deal to me. So I'm just going to gather this and go under, try to find a hole. Come on, hole. Here's what I'll do. I'll stick my needle up and then I'll find the hole here. Oh, look, see, there's only 2 holes on this button. That's why. All right. So here I go. All the crafting ladies on here. I'm not trying to show you how to sew on a button. I'm just showing you that I am sewing on a button. Please don't be offended. I'm not trying to show you things you already know how to do, but sewing buttons on pants, I got me. Man down. Sewing buttons on pants is just so cute, especially if you have some vintage buttons, some fun buttons, you know, that they make buttons that just look like everything. I thought that was so cute, those buttons I found that were all sewing themed, and I felt pretty nifty for thinking that I could use those on my Cinderella spools. So it's pretty excited about that. I'm just going back and forth into each hole for those who don't know how to sew on a button. This is how it's going. And I've got, oh gosh, I've got things going on. It's because I'm not paying attention. All right. I might have to take this back off and figure out my life here, but you guys get the picture of what I'm doing here with my buttons and my transfers. And okay, that's a little better. I just have the one little loop on there that didn't want to come, but it'll be fine. You need instructions on sewing on buttons. I'm just going through each, I'm just poking myself. That's all I'm doing over here this morning, is just poking myself. I'm just going through the holes back and forth. I was thinking, because I teach an enrichment class in the afternoons for my co-op to our elementary and middle school kids. And I was thinking, you know what? I bet you very few of them know how to sew on a button. So I may go ahead and teach them that here in the next couple weeks. Apparently we scheduled off the Tuesday after Labor Day. Oh, thanks, Miss Mary. So we have a break coming up already. Can you believe that? Already with our breaks, but we only meet 15 weeks in the fall and 15 weeks in the spring. We are not a school. We're just kind of like an extra curricular thing or an adjunct to somebody's homeschool. So, but we do stay on the same curriculum and, you know, help each other along there as far as history and science and writing. But as far as like phonics and math and literature, those kinds of things, people usually have to just kind of figure that out on their own, which I wish we could have a math class, but everybody is always on different levels. Like we just have like a high school class, a middle school class, and a elementary class, and then we have a kindergarten class and pre-K. So we don't have, I just kind of put the thread through to tie it off there on the back, and then snippity snip, and here we go. Let's look at how she's looking here. Okay, come on, pants, cooperate. Isn't that cute? Could you imagine buttons going all the way up? It's kind of similar to what I had going on here with my acrylic dots, but I wanted something that felt a little more vintage and a little more me, rather than like the silly side of me, maybe more of just like the crafty side of me, you know, the gardening side of me, the canning side of me, the old side of me. Oh, thank you, Miss Cindy. And so I think it would be super cute if you're going on the trip to Pennsylvania in September. Take some fancy pants with you. Wear some fancy pants. I don't think I'm actually going to be able to go. I had high hopes. I always make plans and then just pray for provision. But I don't think it's going to happen. Right after I made the plans, my vehicle decided to do something wild and crazy. And I was very thankful that ChatGPT was able to diagnose my vehicle. But we were down $600 after that. So, all right, guys, it is 8:15, so I gotta run. But thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for sticking around with me and watching me poke myself 1,000 times. And most of all, thank you for homemaking a homemade home with me today. And yes, just no buttons on the butt, because that would be very uncomfortable. Anyways, all right, love y'all. Bye.